Chapter 2. The Prisoner.
You're on a path in the woods.
This is fascinating.
And
Didn't even need to
that
go and
path
restart.
is
It
a
just...
cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
Alright, we got some options here. I'm getting a terrible sense of deja vu. Wait, hasn't this already happened? Okay, no. But I died. What am I doing here? Oh, you bastard. You're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks. Let's be a bit confrontational, because that's how I feel right now. Oh, you bastard. You're in for it now. I'm wise to your tricks.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We've just
Quit
met for the
gaslighting
first
me.
time. Don't forget what he did to us the last time around. I wouldn't trust a word out of his mouth. There's got to be a way out of here, for us and for the princess. We just have to keep trying. I'm inclined to agree. If he doesn't remember what happened last time, maybe it's best to keep it that way.
Fair enough. Is this a story of me developing multiple personality disorder?
It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. And as far as trying to help her goes, need I remind you how catastrophically dangerous she is to the world at large? I told you about the stakes of this situation less than a minute ago.
Let's see. Let's assume I'm telling the truth, and all of this really did already happen. Why should I listen to you? Why should I bother doing anything? It's a worthy question.
Very different questions, but fine. I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
No. This is like... That's not how that went. I died because... Well, yeah, I didn't listen to you. And then you tried to force your way into making me listen to you. I only died once I started really kind of following your directions against my will. You're the reason I'm in this mess.
Absolute irony. Well, that's one way to put it, I guess. You really don't remember what happened last time, do you? You practically forced the princess to kill us. That doesn't sound like the sort of thing I'd do, which is honestly all the more reason for you to not buy into whatever self-delusions the three of you are crafting.
The three of you? He's aware of me.
But this is a thought experiment, so I suppose I'll continue to give you the benefit of the doubt. If I did practically force the princess to kill you, it was probably for a good reason. Did you try and free her? Did you say something really mean to me? Because if I really did what you said I did, you probably deserved it. I'm a professional, after all.
No. This sort of excuse doesn't fly. Look, whenever anyone pulls the excuse of, oh, well, if I did do something terrible, it was for your own good. That's a bit of a red flag.
Sure you are. Anyway, I believe your second question was, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. You forced the princess to kill us, and now everyone's right back where they started. That sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely? If it's the latter...
So does he bring up the, if we're going to the multiverse theory of the universe, does he bring up the idea that, sure, our consciousness is back in this other world, getting effectively a redo, but whatever world we just left is now fated to be destroyed thanks to what we did with the princess?
Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything, just like I told you she would? What a conveniently ambiguous group of things for her to ruin. For all we know, the princess left the cabin and never saw another soul. Oh, how I wish that were the case, but if the princess weren't a certain, inevitable threat to the world, the four of us wouldn't be here. And yet, here we are. You're talking in circles. No, I'm talking in facts.
Let's talk about the princess.
Just be quick about it.
The only reason she was even able to kill me last time was because I let her, and all she did was slit my throat. How is she supposed to end the world? Or who locked her in that basement? What is this place? I think we'll go with the second question. I think that's very relevant, and he might actually give us the answer to
I
it.
told you what this place is. It's a path in the woods. Don't overcomplicate things.
People locked her in the basement? That's your justification? Not everything people do is good. People committed the Holocaust. You know? That's far from a justification. People did it. Oh, jeez. If people locked her away, why couldn't they slay her? Why is this falling on me? That's an interesting question.
I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are.
This guy's so vague. Everyone's so vague in this world. It's as if the author, didn't finish their world building before they sat down to write. I don't mean that as an insult. I think it's an intentional part of the story, just to be clear.
Did you know we were special? Of course you're special. Why else would you be here?
Sheer happenstance, curiosity. Maybe we're just the type of outdoorsy individuals who enjoy a walk in the woods.
Right. We're here because we're special. Look, you're annoyed that you're here. I get it. I'm also annoyed that I'm here. But we're all in this together, and we're dealing with a bit of a ticking clock right now, so please just get to the cabin.
Why are you being so cagey? What aren't you telling me,
Everything you
good
need
sir?
to know. Going into more detail will just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult.
Oh, so you're saying this situation is more nuanced than you are presenting it to me? That you're lying to me, telling me a white lie, so that my moral conscience can be clear when I am in fact, perhaps, complicit in an atrocity. Always be suspicious of people who lie to you, just because, that's all you need to know to make the right choice. I'm lying for your own good.
Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to trust me here.
Doesn't sound like you're hiding something. You're objectively hiding something. The only question is what the nature of that something is. So how is she supposed to end the world? She slit my throat. That's not a very world-ending type of way to kill someone.
Believe me, I wish I could tell you more, but you'll just have to trust that what I'm saying is true, and that, despite it all, you're fully up to the task that's been given to you. You haven't given us an ounce of proof. You do know that, right? What proof could you possibly ask for? Literally anything.
Anything?
Fine. Check your pockets.
Okay, we're getting somewhere.
You put your hands in your
Sure.
pockets and pull out an envelope with the words, "The Evidence," written across the front.
This seems
You
suspect.
find a note in your handwriting. It reads, "The princess will end the world if you don't stop her. This is an immutable truth."
This is still hearsay. This is the same type of evidence. It's just written down
How do
now.
we know you didn't just forge our handwriting? I wish I could tell you more, but there are some rules I have to follow for all our sakes. Please just trust that these rules are in place for a reason. I'm on your side. You mean you're on our side as long as we do what you tell us to? Exactly. Because you not doing what I tell you to do means you're putting
True.
the world at risk. I think we've got everything out of him we're gonna get. Great. Now, if you don't mind,
All right.
the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
What if we turn around and leave? Yeah, I bet you don't even. I bet there isn't even a world beyond this cabin. It's just a self-contained story with no greater world to even be destroyed in the first place.
I'm not so sure running away is the best idea. We're not the only person stuck here. What about her? Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
No, but you can figure something out, right? It's like I'm being railroaded by the DM. Okay, so we got... Okay, fine, if you're so persistent, I'll go to the cabin, I'll slay the princess. Oh. Okay, fine, I'll go to the cabin, I'll talk to the princess, maybe I'll slay her. Maybe I won't, guess we'll see. Yes, I definitely know where I'm going. Nope. The only thing that matters is where I'm not going, the cabin. And I'm not going to the cabin. I'm actually pretty okay with the world ending. I relish the coming of a new dawn beyond our own. Gonna go walk in the opposite direction now. Quite to continue down the path. Yes, I definitely know where I'm going. Yeah, this is actually, yeah, I'm starting to get DM vibes, that's for sure.
Somehow I doubt that, but fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
Oh, come on.
That's strange.
Okay, I'll go into the cabin. I've got a game plan, though. If we don't pick up the knife, she can't kill us with the knife.
Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all. That's great to hear. As long as you bring that fiery attitude to princess slaying, I think this will all resolve splendidly. Good. Going back to the cabin is the only way we can get to the bottom of things. The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison.
I see. So now you've changed the kind of facade of this structure to make it seem as though she has been imprisoned by more legitimate authorities, right? When it was a random cabin in the woods that she was locked in the basement of, then, who knows what nutter put her in there. But, oh, now it's a castle. Now it's got proper, stonework and stuff. Now it's a real dungeon. So she's been imprisoned by legitimate authorities. Therefore, she deserves to die. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Do you realize how easy... I mean, heck. And statistically speaking, probably most authorities throughout history have been corrupt in some manner.
You'll need it if you want to do this right.
You didn't say anything about the mirror on the wall. That's an interesting thing to leave out. It's clear in the illustration. Why is it not in the prose?
He definitely did not. Does a mirror not count as furniture of note to you? Because it should. There isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here. There's definitely a mirror. There isn't.
Quit gaslighting me.
I think you know what we have to do.
Why would you lie about that? What's the point? I look at myself. I want to see how handsome I am. Doesn't matter. I will approach the mirror.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
Swipe the mirror.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now. But it was there a second ago. And now it's gone. If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
This whole cabin is different than last time.
Very different. Yes, but why? Did he change it? Or did it change all on its own? Maybe it's a different cabin entirely. Now isn't that a novel thought? Maybe you haven't actually been here before. I hope this means you'll finally drop your ridiculous past life nonsense. You haven't died, and you certainly haven't been killed by the princess. So focus up. Don't get distracted by minor details.
These don't really seem that minor. Alright, we are not grabbing the blade. We are just entering the basement. If there is no blade in the basement, we can't have our throats slit. Granted, I'm not sure how we're going to free the princess without the blade, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the blade. We're in a dangerous situation, and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
That's how we died last time.
Are you sure? She killed us with it last time. What if she turns it against us again?
Yes, I'm sure, and I've already got a plan for that.
But I have a plan.
Still with those past life delusions, are we? I hope part of that plan is don't give the world any monstrosity your only weapon, because unless you've decided to arm the princess, I don't think you need to worry about her having
Well, then we can go down unarmed.
Peachy, we'll be fine.
Okay. I'm trusting you.
I don't get a say here. What's the big idea?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it
Oi!
a reflex. We take the knife as we
Okay, now you're
Wonderful. You do exactly
first the
that.
narrator,
Slipping the knife from
now
the
the
table
skeptic.
before proceeding to the basement. Don't worry about it. We have a knife.
Well, there goes
so
my
what?
whole plan.
It's not like we have to.
Thanks,
use it.
guys. I wonder if this is like a... Maybe this is an allegory for addiction.
No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
I wonder if we could use the torches to our advantage.
Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
Does she remember us?
I wonder if she remembers the past world.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with
Oh
the
my.
princess. She looks up at you.
Oh
the heavy
no.
collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
We can't cut her free when she's like this. And losing a hand, it's bad, but you can live. Losing a head?
So much for cutting her out of here. Do you hear yourself right now? Cutting her out of here never should have been on the table. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last time we were here. I didn't make note of it, but...
That was there last time too, wasn't it?
It was.
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
This is a different demeanor than last time. We'll sit with her.
You step towards the princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
Agreed.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
We'll sit here.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
Alright, my intentions? What do you mean? I've been here before. Am I the only one who remembers that? What happened after I died last time? That other chain on the wall. Who is it for? What would you have me do? I think we're just going to leave you here, actually. You're not much of a threat to anyone locked up like that. Bye. Or slay her. Let's start with this question. What happened after I died last time? Oops, that was...
Are we talking about
okay.
that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But sure, I'll fill you in. Nothing happened. You died. I went upstairs.
Ooh.
I couldn't leave. I found myself in a new place in chains again. More of them. And now you're back.
Is that really all she knows?
Fascinating.
It's not like we have much of a clue about how things work. And she's
Okay.
probably even more in the dark than we are.
So she remembers the loops. Now that raises the interesting question, because if it was just me that remembered, and my multiple personalities, then that's one interesting fact, and I would believe the narrator isn't aware. If the princess is aware too, what are the odds we're both aware, but the narrator isn't?
You're looking at me like I might be hiding something. I'm not.
I guess it's possible she really doesn't know anything. Maybe both of us are stuck in this loop without any idea why or how.
I guess what you said back in the woods really was true. As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things.
It's complicated things how, exactly?
So you were lying to us before about being unaware.
Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
Okay.
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
Now hold on, if you knew this could happen, why didn't you believe us back in the woods? Why lay out all those hypotheticals? We didn't have to talk in circles.
I needed you to believe this was your first time here, even if that wasn't
True.
the truth. I hoped if I pushed back hard enough I could cram this seeping mess back into the bottle. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative.
That's pathetic.
I never said I wasn't.
That is a weird sentence.
I get it. It would be
Is
pretty
he
upsetting,
guilty
wouldn't it?
for getting us killed?
To know that
Or
you might
does
not
he
be the
feel
first
guilt around
version
that?
of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. Alright?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much.
I like the skeptic.
Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
I won't.
Fine, but you won't get another word from me on the matter.
But let's pick apart the logic of that statement. If our success relies on us being ignorant to something, then that means that for us to be able to go through with the plan, there must be something, some facts that, were we aware of it, we wouldn't go through with the plan. Right? Which almost by definition means going through with the plan must be against our interests in some way. Right? Now, what sort of information that might be, I don't know. And one of the things that comes to mind is, like, what if the princess is actually our sister or something, right? So, if we knew that, then, the emotional turmoil would be too much and you wouldn't be able to kill her or something. But there are other things that could be the case. I just find it hard to believe there's a circumstance where if we had all the knowledge, we would do something else, and yet that would be the wrong choice to make.
Yeah, sure. We'll see about that.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
It's not daydreaming, I'm just consulting with my multiple personalities. Okay. You're asking about my intentions. Oh, what did you mean by that? That other chain on the wall, who is it for? What would you have me do? Okay. Let's ask about the chain on the wall.
I don't know, but you could always try it on.
That seems unwise. But to what end?
Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
Let's take a look at
I
it.
wouldn't do that.
Well, you're
if I were
not
you.
me, or maybe you're one of. I don't know what
Why
you are,
is
but
that?
I'm doing it.
Do I even need to explain myself? It's a shackle, and it's one without a key. Do you want to be stuck here like she is?
Might make your job harder of resetting
And
things.
what? Is it going to lock the second we put our wrist into it?
I don't know. Maybe it will.
He doesn't want us to look at it. That's all the reason we need to investigate.
But what if he's telling the truth?
He isn't.
I am.
Let's inspect it. No harm could come from inspecting.
Against your better judgment, you approach the chain dangling from the far wall. The princess watches you with faux disinterest as you inspect it, though she can't fully hide her curiosity. I don't want to say what I'm supposed to say next. What is that supposed to mean? It sounds bad. Is it bad?
Huh.
Yes, it's bad.
Come out and say it then. You're just wasting time.
Fine. As you hoist the shackle, its heft shifts within your grasp, as if pulled by some odd magnetism. Before you can so much as blink, it practically leaps from your hands, snapping around your neck.
Well, this isn't great, I'll admit. I kind of feel like that's cheating, what the shackle did there, but,
And, as if your situation weren't bad enough, the same magnetism repels your blade, which is flung from your hand and sent skittering across the floor of the basement.
now that's interesting. I don't believe the narrator would have said that. Like, that doesn't go. That's against his interests. Which means there's some force at play that's stronger than the narrator.
Excuse me? Yes? Are we stuck here now? Yes.
Huh, so it does fit. And I guess it doesn't like your knife. We're stuck here together, aren't we? That's funny.
So it would seem.
What are we supposed to do now?
Can't even cut ourselves out. Guess we'll starve.
That's horrible.
Yep.
It's not all bad. We learned a valuable piece of information.
What is that, skeptic? Because what I've learned from this is, because the interesting thing last cycle was that all of the things the narrator pulled out that were getting in our way were furthered his interests. This shackle development, though, did not further his interest at all, especially with the knife getting flung away. Which implies there's either some entity stronger than the narrator, or there is some degree of base reality here that the narrator himself can't even mess with.
Not to touch things we're specifically told not to touch.
No, that there's something special about this loose chain. It's clearly important.
Okay, so we're both stuck here. What should we do now? Did you know that this was going to happen to me? We'll ask that.
No.
Well, that's a flat answer. So we're both stuck here?
Yep.
Not very talkative, I see. Yeah, well, you know what they say. Or what I say. If I said the thing unprompted and then it's an option, we gotta say it. Not one for small talk, are you?
That's rude.
Maybe she just doesn't like wasting her time. What should we do? No ideas? Okay.
You
So
and the
just wait.
princess wait in silence, though neither of you knows what you're waiting for. But you're waiting for something. You're waiting for anything. This is so boring.
There must be something we can do to get out of here. There must be something we're missing.
But there isn't.
Thanks, narrator.
Time passes. It passes and passes and passes. And the basement of the cabin remains much the same. It is cold and silent. At least the world is safe. It isn't. You're stuck. Too far away from both the princess and your blade to do much of anything.
Well, yeah, but she's not escaping.
But she's not ending anything. She's just sitting there. Her very existence is a threat. It harms everything around it.
How exactly does that work?
It just does.
See, that is the worst explanation. Of course we distrust
But
you.
your line of questioning is interrupted by the passage of even more time. And after that, even more time passes again. And let me guess, the cabin remains the same.
If time is passing, the cabin can't be the same. Even if the differences are small, they have to exist. That's just how things work.
True, but the changes might be so small that it doesn't really matter.
I suppose you're correct. Things are changing. The differences are small at first, a bit of weathering here, a bit of erosion there, but then they get larger and larger.
Have you noticed the basement changing?
I don't like small talk.
This is big talk.
Remember?
Still
Things do seem a
rude.
bit darker. Oh, it's
You
crumbling.
continue to wait in silence, and the cabin continues to change. The decay comes faster now. You can see earth through holes in the stonework, can watch lichen spread along the seams of the walls.
And eventually, maybe the wall that we're attached to is gonna collapse, and then we'll be fine. Maybe the chains can rust away.
That doesn't make sense. Has our entire concept of time changed? What happened to starving? We should have died by now if the rocks around us are starting to erode.
She hasn't starved.
Oh, yeah, I assumed she was special, though. Oh, we're special. Or allegedly.
I guess she hasn't.
Oh.
Even more silent time passes as you watch roots push themselves through the increasingly porous walls of the basement. Dirt seeps inside, flowing
We're
across
just gonna
the
be
stone
crushed to
floor
death
like
here
a liquid,
eventually.
covering the ground and threatening to swallow you both. Time continues to pass, and pass, and pass, until suddenly there are no walls. And
I think he's gone.
What?
Would you look at that? We made it out of the cabin, and nothing bad had to happen to either of us.
Huh.
So this is the outside world.
Oh,
It's cold.
she looks so sad. What the? Excuse me? But you don't get the chance to respond. Something has taken her away. It's left something else in her stead. It's the mirror again!
she's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
I don't know where she went, and I don't know how we'd even go about looking for her. Narrator's who cares about the narrator? I think I'm supposed to look at the mirror. Let's approach that mirror.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
Quit being a coward. You're supposed to be a hero. The mirror never scared you before?
It's different now. It feels... I don't know. Final.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
You approach the mirror.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different.
No,
Final.
no, no.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back.
Guys, you already said that. The voices feel small, distant as you approach. Gaze into your reflection. Silence as you reach forward. They're gone, but the mirror remains. It's time for you to see what's in it. It's you. You are alone in a place that is empty. It is quiet here. What? I'll proceed to the cabin? You are at the cabin. Approach her.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
Huh. Alright, so what are you? The gift of a fragile vessel? Is this the end of the world? Let her out of there. Do you know the narrator? Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you? Well, let's start with the fragile vessel line. That seems weird.
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart.
Huh. So this being of, like, massive hands is... I don't know, wants to, like, take over the princess? Is that what's going on here?
Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
What are you?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
What does that even mean? Solitary lights, what do you mean by that?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
All of a sudden this is starting to feel a bit sci-fi. What do you think I am?
I think that you are like me. We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
Is this the end of the world?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
It's a fair point. Are you the princess?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
That doesn't help much. But were you always the princess, or are you just making her a part of yourself now?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
I'd say so. Are you what sent me to slay the princess? Are you what trapped me here?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
Let her out of there!
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me.
Huh?
I promise that it doesn't hurt.
Do you know the narrator?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
I'm still not sure what this is exactly. Do you know the world's beyond this place?
I know only that they are.
Do we know each other?
You are familiar, but you are not me. I feel sadness, longing, hope as I witness you.
What happens now?
Nothing, as we are, but I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to. Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
Okay, more questions. Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you? How much will I forget? How many more pieces of you do I have to find? And what if I don't let you do this to me? I was sent here to save the princess. Stop from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do? Okay, make me forget. How much will I forget?
Everything. Until we meet again.
Okay. How many more pieces of you do I have to find?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
And what if I don't let you do this to me?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
I was sent to slay the princess, to stop her from destroying the world. If I help you, is that what you're going to do?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
Fascinating. You're being semantic. What are you going to do if I help you?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
Aren't you scared that I'll find a way to kill you?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
I mean, I don't really trust this entity, but I'm not sure I really see another way out of this desolate, destroyed world. Fine, make me forget.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
Well, that's nice, at least.
You won't.
What? Everything goes dark, and you die. Chapter 1. The Hero and the Princess.